So, Camille, where are we headed off to today?
Well, I got up at 7:30 today so I could go practice so that I have the rest of the day to relax.
What?
School of Music auditions. Oh, we can't go in the practice rooms. They're doing School of Music seating auditions.
Is this a regular thing they do, or is this just a...
It's a couple times during this time of the year. We just can't use them for a day. It's kind of frustrating.
Do you run into this a lot?
Not really. Just maybe like 4 weekends out of the year. I just play an opera every Saturday at 12.
We do?
Yeah, that's what this is.
That's kind of awesome.
I don't know.
You're not a fan of operas?
I don't know what to talk about, but it's difficult to get anything out of it. It's in a different language and there are no visuals, obviously, on the radio.
Yeah.
I don't really know what they're trying to do. Yeah, the School of Music was doing auditions, so we couldn't use the room. You shut the door, the cats will get off. Aww. So I see you neither took a shower nor cleaned up.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Camille Esposito. I'm a senior music education major at George Mason University. I'll be student teaching in the fall and graduating in December.
My name's Benjamin Harrison. I've known Camille for about 6.5 years. She's my girlfriend, and we actually came out to George Mason University together. So we've known each other forever at this point.
This is a viola. It's different than a violin. It's a little bit bigger. Violins are only maybe about this big. The fine tuners, the tuning pegs, chin rest. This is the bridge. It amplifies most of the sound. This is the tailpiece the strings are attached to, and that's all secured right here on the buttons. C, G, D, and A string. Viola. I get up maybe at 6:30 or 7 in the morning and I go practice for 2 or 3 hours, eat lunch, go to class, practice more. Usually I have symphony rehearsals and just pick up the slack of the amount of hours I practice in the morning and practice them in the afternoon. I practice, my goal every day is to practice 5 hours a day. I usually end up doing somewhere between 4 and 5 hours a day. Sometimes homework piles up and I have to use my practice time to do homework if I was too lazy to do it at night or I just couldn't get it done, which is really frustrating. It's difficult being a music major because you're not only expected to improve on your instrument to a point where you're competitive, you're also expected to develop as a musician.
And that would also be different than a standard college experience, as you touched on earlier, with the amount of classes that they make her take.
And so we have to take music theory classes, music history classes, conducting and sight singing, and piano skills classes. Upper woodwinds class, a lower woodwinds class, a strings class, a percussion class, a guitar class, a vocal class. It's so difficult and demanding. Sight singing and ear training is a class in which you have to sing music on site using solfege syllables. Do, re, mi. You may have heard of them before. Sound of Music. We're in school for much, much longer than every other major, and we're expected to practice 4 to 5 hours a day. So that was just extremely overwhelming.
Kind of sums up music to me, at least from an outside observer. A lot of work. The amount of people who actually graduate on time, or if ever, from the music education program is hilariously low.
I have a few times, mostly because I thought I might not be able to pass a couple of key classes you need to graduate with a major, particularly sight singing and ear training.
One person right now who's going to be student teaching with her at the same time is actually about 6.5 years into the degree, and this is a 4-year degree. And so that kind of shows you the amount of stress and work they're putting on you. There's just no way you can finish this on time. And so to actually rise up and meet that kind of challenge, you have to grow and you have to change. And
Well, my two professors, I very much enjoyed. They're highly qualified. They both play in the National Opera. They're so skilled and amazing, and I learned so much from them. I've had 3 teachers at George Mason. For education majors, we also have to take classes and learn how to play every other instrument that's taught in the public school curriculum. I originally wanted to be a performance major, but I didn't think I was good enough. The difference between education and performance is job security. Duh! Somebody who gets a degree in music education is almost secured a job immediately. Oftentimes, performance majors don't get a full-time job with benefits until they're in their late 20s, and that's if they're lucky. Symphonies just aren't profitable anymore. Nobody's as interested in classical music, and it's so highly competitive. I used to practice in the townhouse, but it can be very unproductive. While the acoustics are very nice, much nicer than the practice rooms, practicing in a room with better acoustics is actually not conducive for progress, because if you have a more open, ringing sound, it often muffles mistakes and imperfection. It makes you sound better than you are. But it's definitely advantageous to live in the nation's capital. They have a very involved classical music scene. We have the NSO, the National Opera, there's George Mason, University of Maryland, Catholic, Peabody Conservatory, and Ben. And Biscuits and Parsnip! My cats that are sleeping on the bed right now. Awkward. One time, I had to take my conducting final one-on-one with the professor, and I couldn't find my conducting baton because the cats took it. I came home and they were running around with it in their mouths. I don't know, I guess I'm just a masochist. Because I don't know what sane person would do this. I don't know.
as you become a professional musician, is you realize that you don't just love music. Music isn't just your life, it actually is. Because if you didn't love it that much, you wouldn't make all those sacrifices. That's been her biggest transition over the past few years, is learning that not only does she really love it, it's actually who she is, and it's become a real part of her. Not an extension of herself, but more of an internalization of that, not both skill, but mental attitude. And I've ended up getting to watch all of this transition and get cats.
It's a really good experience.